Hi, I'm Mike Roberts. I'm a member of the Australian PGA, and I view golf lessons as something to help you to play and enjoy the game better, no matter at what stage you're at. I've designed this golf lesson series around 6 main sections or chapters, whereby you'll learn the essential mechanics to help you to plan and play the game better. You will learn how to make a good grip so that you can express control, touch and rhythm. In the second section, you will learn how to aim correctly at the target and also where to position the ball according to the club you are playing. In the third section, you will learn to make a good takeaway or to commence your golf swing. The commitment you make to the beginning of your swing dictates the path that your club will take. You will learn how to make a takeaway with your shoulders and arms in one coordinated unit. In the fourth section, I've called the hit. What should your hands and club be doing while you're hitting the ball? There's a variety of things you could do. Should you get under the ball and scoop it in order to get it into the air? Should you fan the club around so that you put a spin on the ball? There's a variety of things you can do at the hitting zone. In the fifth section, I've included putting, for I have found that the way people putt can influence the way they play the main part of their golf. If you have a putting technique that excludes some of your shot making, then it would be better to change your putting method. And then in the sixth section, we will include other shots such as chipping, bunker play, side hill lies, and all those other shots that we come across while we're playing a round of golf. Let's move on to the first section of this golf lesson series and talk about the grip. The shot that I hit earlier expresses 3 things. 1, control. By control, I mean that the club is not flopping around in my hands. The second principle that shot showed me was good touch. The ball landed up on the green and near to the flag. And the third thing was good rhythm. The rhythm was expressed in my swing. I was going back at an even tempo, coming through to the follow-through and held my balance. To get the best control of a golf club, place it down into your fingers like this. Fingers are enormously strong. When I pick up a bag, I pick it up in my fingers. Also, this grip is the thinnest of all sports grips, and therefore designed that the club should be sat down in your fingers. The second principle within a good grip is touch. You need to hold the club in such a way that you have a sense of the club head, but also you need a sense of the target. If you wanted to know about my shirt, you would have to touch it. Now, when I am looking down at a golf ball ready to hit it, I'm not looking at the target. So it is with my hands that I have a sense of distance, of how hard or soft to hit the shot. And the last principle within a good grip is rhythm. Rhythm, I believe, is expressed through your legs. If you look at rollerbladers or ice skaters, even dancers, you'll find it is the legs that is the most active. If I throw a ball, it is the legs, throws the body, throws the arm last. So in order now to get your legs to be active, and we do want them active, you will need to soften your torso. If you are pumped up in the torso, then your legs won't work, no matter how hard you try. The way I shall demonstrate an active torso is that if I take this ball and squeeze it in my palm, then my whole body is active. But if I squeeze a golf ball like this and squeeze it very hard, then I am active only up to the elbows, but my body is out of the shot. My body is out of the squeezing of this ball. Now that we have the theory, let's do the proper mechanics of a good grip. Firstly, with your left hand, place it on the grip so that your hand is on top of the grip. Next thing, pull the thumb and the forefinger together. Don't have the thumb going around the grip like this. Keep the thumb and the finger together. As you look on the inside of my grip, make sure that the heel of the hand is on top of the grip. Don't ever put the club in the middle of your hand like this, otherwise your wrists will be too free. Keep the butt of the hand on top of the grip. And lastly, play with a short thumb. A short thumb means that this finger and the thumb are the same height. A long thumb is this way. The thumb is a long way away from the finger. If I feel fabric, then the thumb and the finger work together this way. So when you grip the club with your left hand, have your thumb and your finger the same height, or a short thumb. Keep the heel of the hand on top of the grip and close the fingers. So the club is angled through my hand, and close the fingers like this. Let us now talk about the right hand. With your little finger of the right hand, overlap your left hand. It can either sit on the top of the forefinger or just in the gap. I prefer in the gap. Be careful. Make sure you grip the club in the second joint up with your right hand like this. For when you're gripping the club, you're gripping it this way. You're not gripping to the palm. It's the fingers that's doing the gripping. So place the club down in the second joint up from the tip of your finger. The pad of your left thumb, your right thumb, I beg your pardon, the pad of your right thumb then squeezes down on your left thumb like this. Keep the thumb and the forefinger together. As I pull my right hand up and overlap my little finger, then you can see that my whole right side and my right hand is supporting the left. The plan then is, here's our golf swing. The job of the right hand is to propel the left. It's not to swing on its own. That's the right hand. The right hand can do the work, but it must take the left with it. So when I grip with my left hand and leave the butt showing, then this is my strong hand. The right hand overlap the little finger, and now when I swing the club, it's the right hand that's supporting the left. There is one other point you could consider, and that is to view your clubs as being divided into four main sections. We have first the woods, which are the longest clubs and they hit the ball the furthest. Then we have the long irons, the middle irons and the short irons. And this is the way a family of golf clubs is made up. If you have played a shot off the tee and you estimate that you only have a short iron into the green, then that will give you much more confidence to judge the distance. Let's take another moment now and I will explain how golf clubs are designed. The longer the club, the bigger the circle, the further the ball goes. Now each club is separated in length by 12.5 millimeters, or a half an inch in the old scale. And each 12.5 millimeters represents about 7 meters in ball distance. The rules of golf allow us 14 clubs, one of which will probably be the putter. So if you grip the club short in the palm of your left hand, you are affecting the length the ball will travel and create inconsistencies in your game. Keep the butt of your club free from the inside of your palm. We should consider some options that you have to overlap or interlock your little finger of your grip. The Varden overlapping grip is when the little finger overlaps the index finger of the left hand. The interlocking grip is when the index finger of the left hand comes out and overlaps or interlocks, as I'm showing here. And the last type of grip available to us is the one that Greg Norman uses, where he uses a 10-finger grip. His little finger is placed in between the fingers of the left hand like this. My preference is to use the overlapping grip for two reasons. Number one, the first principle within the grip was control. You have better control, I believe, if you have this finger on the grip. If you take it off in order to put the little finger of the right hand on, then you don't have the best hold of the club. So I believe you should close these fingers for the best control. And the second principle that I described to you was touch. If I interlock, then my index finger of my left hand is feeling the back of my right hand. I believe it is better that this index finger feels the grip. So for two reasons then, you should overlap your grip in the Varden style. In summary then, if you were to grip a club this way, then you will achieve the three hidden principles within a grip. Number one, place the club down in your fingers. They are enormously strong and you will get the best control. Second benefit, or second principle within the grip, is that the pads of the inside of my hand are on the grip in such a way that I have a sense of the club head, but also of the target. And the third principle within a golf grip is rhythm. By placing the club in your fingers, your torso will be soft, allowing your legs to drive through the shot. The second section of this golf lesson series is aiming, whereby you'll learn how to put your body correctly at the target and also to position the ball according to the club you're about to hit. Most golfers think they are aimed at the target. Their eyes know where they want to go, but their body, which is hitting the ball, is oftentimes pointed somewhere else, and this makes for a very complex shot indeed. I will now demonstrate aiming by hitting a ball up to the green just up beyond. Good shot. Let us go now into some more detail about how I prepared myself to hit that shot. When you commence aiming, do it this way. First, get your club face pointing at the target. In this instance, I've used a T marker. The club face faces the T marker. Be careful not to move the club face around, otherwise the target is moving. Next, get your feet square to the club, but also position yourself according to the ball you're about to hit. In other words, if I face you, I've placed first my club to the target. Now, get my feet square, which I'm doing, but where should I stand in relation to this club? Should I stand over here? Should I stand here? There's a variety of positions that I could put myself in. Now, to know where the correct position is, use the leading edge of your club, which is the bottom edge, is called the leading edge. Position this edge towards the middle of your stance. Because I have a 7-iron in my hands, this will be the ball that I will hit. If I have a 5-iron, this will be the ball. If I have a 3-iron, this ball, and with a wood, this ball. In summary then, I have a shaft on the ground here which will represent the ball position. I have laid my club, the leading edge of my club, parallel to the shaft on the ground. Now, because it is a short iron, it is a 7-iron, it will be in the middle of my stance. Be careful now, the ball will be slightly further ahead. It is the club that tells me where to position the ball. If I am hitting a wood, then I will move my body across so that I am clearly behind the ball. Once more, a short iron is from the middle of my stance to my woods, which is off the left heel. Be careful, never place the ball closer to your right foot unless you are playing a trick shot. You are in front of the ball, therefore you could create a smother or a topped shot. In all golf shots, you will be standing slightly behind the ball. So far, I've only talked about your feet and the correct ball position. Let us move on now and position the rest of your body into the shot. I begin by aiming my club face at the target. Next, I stand in the correct position for this 7-iron. The next thing we must do is to get this shaft and this left arm in one line, because it is our left arm that is the leading arm for us right-handers, like this. This is our golf swing. The right hand is propelling the left. So in order to make sure that this shaft and the left arm are in one straight line, position the handle of the club off your left leg, or just left of your fly. Next, we need to get your right hand on. The way to do that is to come down with your right shoulder like this. Because the right hand is lower, your right shoulder will need to be lower. Most golfers put their right hand by coming out with their right shoulder. This keeps the head level, because this is the way we walk. This is our horizon line. But in golf, your shoulders are not level. One is down, like this. So my horizon line now sees the whole world on its side. But for a two-handed sport, such as golf, this will be correct. Be careful then not to come out with your right shoulder when you're putting your right hand on, because now your shoulders contradict your feet. Your feet will be pointing this way, but your shoulders will be pointing somewhere different. The plan then is when you put your right hand on, keep your shoulders square with your feet, for this is where we found the target first. What I do is to keep this shoulder back with my right shoe. Now everything agrees with the target. My club faces at the target, my feet are square, my shaft is off my left arm, emphasizing that the left shoulder is being supported by the right, and my right shoulder is square with my feet as well. This is giving us the best chance to get the ball to go to the target. In our last session, which was the grip, I said that we measure distance through the sense of touch and in our hands. Now, as golfers, we're not looking at the target, so we need a sense of distance through the hands, but also, if I use my feet as a reference to where the target is, then chances are I'll make the correct takeaway. So that if I swing the club parallel to my feet, I have a sense of where the target is. Once again, club face at the target, feet square, and the ball is positioned to this 7-iron. Now do my takeaway. And now we've moved to the third section of this golf lesson series, which is your takeaway, or how to make a good commencement to the start of your swing. The correct takeaway is to turn your whole body with your shoulders and your arms till you get to this position here. Now in this position, my shoulders have made a full 90 degrees, my left heel has come slightly up off the ground, and my weight has gone onto my right side. Let me do that again. The takeaway is like this. Shoulders, stiff wrists, shoulders, arms and club with the stiff wrists as my shoulder comes across onto my right knee. Now I'm in the correct takeaway position. I'll show this to you another way. If I bring the club directly up in front of me like this, then I'm showing you my takeaway without the shoulder turn. Now you notice that the toe of the club is pointed up, and you can see that that is square. If I come down to the ground, that is square. Now my thumbs are on top of the club. If I roll my wrists this way, the thumbs are on the side and that club is said to be shut. If I do the opposite and roll my club around, this club is now open. As I do my takeaway with the shoulders and go to there, this club is shut. I needed my thumbs to be on top. Now if I demonstrate to you again a different sort of swing with my arms folded like this and show you my takeaway, it would look like this. This is not an exercise. It's to show you that because my arms are folded, I had to turn my torso first. The mistake is that when I take up my club now and begin my swing with my wrists or my arms, you see my shoulders are still facing you. As a matter of fact, this club is now under my arm. Yet when I started, the club was in my front. So make sure when you start your takeaway, your shoulders and your arms all go back in one unit, the same as if your arms were folded. Now the next movement in the golf swing is to cock your wrists. My thumbs, which are on top of the grip here, will now move under the club, under the grip, and be supporting the club from underneath. And this is square, so that the toe of the club will be pointing towards the ground. If I roll my wrists from here, my thumbs now are facing you, and that club is shut. This is correct with the thumbs under. Again, I'll show you that another way. If I bring the club directly up in front of me, like this, then you can see that club is square. If I cock my wrists over my shoulder like this, the thumbs are under, you can see that that is square. Now if I just turn my feet and show it to you, like this, and look over my shoulder, you can see this is the correct position for the takeaway and the wrist cock. The overview then for the golf swing is quite simple. From here up, cock your wrists. And from here down, make sure you've included your body the same as if your arms were folded. Now there are two hidden principles within this type of takeaway and this swing. The first one is rhythm. You need a good rhythm. Within a golf bag or in a set of clubs, there is a variety of lengthed clubs, as you know, which implies that you will have different speed swings. You may be good with a 7-iron, but not so good with a 4-iron. The problem could be that your speed is changing. So we need a constant speed or a constant rhythm within our golf swing. The way I demonstrate this is that if I fold my arms, as you have already seen, and turn as fast as I can't blur my body to you. My trunk, which is the biggest part of me and of you, needs to get into the swing early. If you start your swing with your wrists, then your shoulders never fully get into the right position and can even be different for every club that's in your bag. So if you commence your swing with your trunk, then you will find that your speed will be even. Now the second principle within this type of swing or takeaway, why I wanted you to cock your wrists from here up, is for timing. Now timing literally means coming together at the right time at the ball. Because hands flick, they have no rhythm of themselves. They just reflect a mood. So I want you to cock your wrists from here up so that your body has time to turn around. Your hands don't need that. So if you watch my swing now, you'll see the two principles. First, if I start with my arms and my wrists with my shoulders, then that speed is constant. Now I'm cocking my wrists, but my shoulders are not turning. There's a pause in my body. Look again. Back. My body is stopped. And now I turn around and come through to the follow through. Watch one more time. Back. Pause in the shoulders. Through. So timing then is the time that you turn from the backswing to the downswing. Now I'm going to hit 3 balls, and in each swing I want you to look for different points in my swing. The first point I want you to watch for is when I cock my wrists in the takeaway. I'll be striving to make a wide takeaway without my wrists. Okay, in the second shot, watch for the pause in my shoulders. I'm not stopping at any time. It's just that my shoulders will be in position early because I will be including them at the beginning of my takeaway. So watch for the pause in my shoulders. Now in the last shot, I want you to note that the length I'm getting out of these shots is coming from my legs. The difficult part about this section is that when I do the takeaway, this is what I said to do. Swing the club back to here. Be careful, don't swing the club behind you. If I put this club across my feet, don't let the club go behind you. If you do, then you are loading your right shoulder. And because we are right-handers, for those of you that are right, it'll be the right hand that will release in the downswing, which will cause your swing to shape this way. And chances are you will slice or you will pull hook the ball. View your swing where you are swinging parallel to your feet, the same as I said in the aiming section. When you swing back to here, not here, and then cock your wrists away from your head. Now I want to describe to you the plane of a swing. Now this is quite technical and tricky, but I'll describe it to you this way. This is my helicopter and it's a plane because I have the club spinning. I said it was technical. Now this is my Ferris wheel. Now in between the two, between the helicopter and the Ferris wheel, is the plane of a swing on this angle. So if I spin it backwards and forwards like this, I am on plane. When I stop the club back here and grip the club, even though it's upside down, you are cocking your wrists then away from your head. If you cock your wrists up straight upwards, that's your Ferris wheel and it's too upright. If you cock your wrists too flat, then that is like a helicopter. So once again, as you swing back, you are here, cock your wrists on plane, which is away from your head. Okay, and then you can come through to the shot like this. That concludes the takeaway section of this Golf Clinic series. You now know the grip, you now know how to aim correctly and position the ball, and you also know to make the correct takeaway. So if you always grip well, aim well, make a good takeaway, your golf must improve. Thank you. See you in the next section. In this fourth session of our golf lesson series, I've called it the hit. What should your club and ball look like while you're actually hitting the ball? For example, should you get the ball into the air this way, where your club comes under the ball and you lift it up? Or another option could be, should you fan the club this way so it's spinning like this? Yet another option, should you block the shot or play it like a cricket shot, like this? There are a number of ways that you can get the ball into the air. The correct one is like this. I'm keeping my wrists stiff and causing the ball to come backwards up the club face. I want to describe to you a point of view whereby I believe golfers have a problem getting the ball into the air. I'll do it this way. I'll throw a ball just out here as a marker for a target. Now if I throw a ball directly to that target, I view it this way, directly to the target. But a golfer doesn't see this shot. A golfer sees this shot. They want to play the golf ball up in the air. And while ever you're trying to play a golf ball up into the air, encourages you to scoop. Every time a golfer tries to play in under some trees and plays a low shot, generally, I'll nearly say every time, the ball will jump up into the air and hit the trees. So if you as golfers then try to hit your golf balls low, then you will get the ball and the club face to work in the right manner. In other words, you will not be scooping, you will be causing the ball to come back up the club face, which will give you the maximum lift according to the club that you are playing. Let me show you now two exercises that will help you to get the ball into the air. The first exercise then is where you have your feet apart, shoulder width, and treat it as you would a putting action. In other words, there'll be no wrists and there's no hips. The shot looks like this. And hold your follow through after you've hit the ball. This is very important. Again. Be careful when you're playing this shot that you let your hands cross your hips or cross your fly. If you play an exercise like this, where your hips are moving with the club, then I call that a body shot. Part of the skill of this exercise is to stop your hips from moving and also to keep your wrists firm. No wrists, no hips. This is a putting action. If you use this action correctly, then the ball will go into the air without any help from you, like this. Let us now do the second exercise. Now we will include our wrists and our feet, like this. Make sure two things, that your foot has come up, and the second thing is that your club is pointed out after the ball and your thumbs are on top so that the club is square. Let's do a few of those. Remember to keep that right foot coming up and make sure you stay in that follow-through position until the ball has stopped moving. You will not be playing golf balls like this on the golf course. This is an exercise. We'll do it one more time. Back and through. So this is the position that I want you to get into. It looks easy, but you try it. I want to just spend a moment now discussing the wrist cock in the backswing. When I go back, I'm going back stiff-wristed, the same as I said in our takeaway lesson. But in the downswing now, I want you to let the club lag behind, like this, so that my wrists are now cocked, then I come through to the follow-through. One more time. Back, let the wrists cock in the downswing. Let me now explain to you the purpose of this exercise. In our last lesson, the third lesson, which was the takeaway, I said to you to cock your wrists from here up. Last lesson we specialised in the takeaway part of the wrist cock. Now in this session we're specialising in your follow-through. Mostly up to this point you may have been coming with your club nicely in the backswing, coming down, doing your second wrist cock at the ball like this. Hence you have been topping the ball. So in this lesson the purpose of doing the exercise is a mini golf swing, a mini full golf swing. Watch. I went back, cocked my wrist, hit the ball, I've got to here, now I'm going to cock my wrists. Let me show you now a full golf swing in slow motion. Back, stiff-wristed, now I'm cocking my wrists, coming into the downswing, the hit, coming through, now I'm cocking my wrists, letting my elbows go till the club is pointing downwards in my follow-through.
Rolling and action.
A full slow motion swing now with my wrists stiff and coming through to my follow-through there. Hold your follow-through. Let me go back through the first two exercises again. The first exercise, stiff-wristed and no feet, this way. Hold your follow-through. The second exercise was this way. Include your feet and include your wrists, like this. Let me hit some full shots now in slow motion, which I consider the best exercise to help you to play consistently better. First, I'm placing my club face where I want to go. I'm getting my feet square. My grip is right, and now I just concentrate on the nice, smooth takeaway. Hold your follow-through till the ball has landed. The discipline in this type of shot is not to hit the next ball further than the one you just hit. That's easy. I have an 8-iron. Back, slowly, through. And again. Club face at the target, feet are square. Now just a nice stiff-wristed takeaway. And through. In summary then, for this hitting section of the golf lesson series, don't do anything at the ball. Make sure you'll keep your hands flowing straight through and with an attitude of not trying to lift the ball, but rather try to hit the ball forward. In the putting section of this golf lesson series, I only have to teach you one thing, and that's to get the ball to roll. Now I describe a rolling ball like this. Now I'm rolling the ball off the top of my fingers, giving it topspin, so that the ball by itself has its own momentum to carry it down to the hole. Good shot. I want to demonstrate to you now a hit ball as opposed to a rolling ball. I call a hit ball one when I break my wrists like this, or if I stop the putter at the ball, like that. These are hit balls as opposed to this one, which is a good follow-through and encourages the ball to roll. Let me demonstrate to you a rolling ball in a different way. The easiest thing about these shots I'm about to make is to hit the ball past the hole, like this. I know you're supposed to hit it firmly, but chances are the ball can come out of the hole. I'm now going to change my tact now, and I'm going to try and stop the ball short of the hole. I found that much harder to do. I'll try it again. So the ball now is rolling, and I'm trying to stop the ball from going into the hole by stopping it short. Now the ball has fallen in, but it has fallen in because of its own roll. Now that I have demonstrated to you a rolling ball with a short shot, let us now apply the same principles but to a longer shot. The first ball I will putt down to you, I will hit past the hole, for remember that is the easiest thing to do, like this. Now while the putt was accurate enough, it's 4 feet beyond the hole, so the putt coming back is not guaranteed. In this putt, I will try and roll the ball down and stop it short of the hole. Try to remember now to keep your follow through. Now this is a rolling ball, so it is very important then to get your ball rolling in putting. For when your putting is better, then so is your handicap. Now in this 6th section of our golf lesson series, I'm going to spend a moment now in the bunker. Make sure you ground your feet well so that you have an idea of what the sand is like under the ball, whether it is firm or whether it is loose, wet, etc. Next, you need the club face to be open because you want to get the ball up into the air quickly. So in order to do that, I'm aiming a little bit to the left of the flag. Be careful not to ground your club when you're in the bunker. You are not allowed to touch the sand in any way, otherwise you could prepare the sand to make the shot easier. Hold the club up above the sand like this until you come through to hit the ball. Make sure you have a good follow through. I'm just off the green now, and I have the choice of either using the putter to come onto the green, or I can chip the ball with what I've chosen here as an 8-iron. If I try and putt through this green, and it is a downhill shot, then I won't have much control on the ball once it hits the green. So I'm going to apply the same principles as I did to the putting to this chip shot. Keeping my wrist stiff now, letting the ball come down and roll to the front of the hole. Like that. Let me do that one more time. The point is that the ball is clearing all this rough grass here in front of me. It's hitting the light rough and then rolling down to the front of the hole. Don't try and scoop this shot up into the air like this, because there's no telling where the ball will go. You don't need to lift the ball, just stroke through it, like putting. Hold your follow through. Let us look now at a fairway wood shot from a side hill lie. It is an extremely difficult shot. the ball will slice. All I'm going to do is to aim further left to allow the ball to finish further right. When I come into the ball now, placing the club behind the ball, aiming to the left side of the fairway, make sure you push back onto your heels, for if your weight goes onto your toes, then the slice will be exaggerated. That was a good shot. The ball went down left of fairway and spun a little to the right of fairway, which is what I expected. Let's now look at a side hill lie, but from the other direction. This time I will aim further to the right of the target because the hill is coming towards me. This will cause the ball to come to the left. So I've picked a spot further to the right that I want to aim at, allowing the ball by itself just to spin back to the left. Be careful now. All my weight I feel is on my heels. This will cause me to fall back. Press forward a little bit so that the weight is more on your toes or evenly balanced. Don't steer the ball, just confidently hit it straight out there. There are a lot of shots you'll need to play in golf that aren't on a flat level ground. You may be behind trees, you may have one leg in the bunker, one leg out. In these cases, you will need to adapt to suit the shot you're about to play. The lessons we've covered up to this point is just a basic setup program whereby when you go to hit a ball, make sure that you have your grip is right, your aiming is correct, and your takeaway is correct also. But be also a little bit elastic to adapt to those other difficult shots that we all come across in this great game of golf.